Hello and welcome to Geek News Live, episode 42. My name is Jay, joined by Max and Philip. It's the trio. We haven't had the three of us together in a cast in a long time. We started this thing last June on Facebook and did a lot of podcasts that we never let anybody listen to.
There's only like 30 or 40 of them.
Yeah. 10. I think there's 10 that we did. Like seriously, that we didn't want to share with y'all, but you heard most of it in the first episode because we just recycled all of those topics in our first episode. That's why our first episode might be one of our best ones because we practiced it so many times.
No, whatever, man. That was fresh and original. You know, we do everything live.
Well, yeah, we do now. We don't edit shit. It's just too hard. Anyway, first, the biggest news is out of nowhere, Jurassic Park comes in like a freaking T-Rex and destroys the box office. $207 million, beating the Avengers. Whether you like this movie or you didn't, I mean, mad props because nobody saw this coming. And like I was telling Max, and I've heard on other podcasts, is if Jurassic Park does $207 million, what is Star Wars gonna do? Like seriously, can we even fathom that number? I mean, is Star Wars gonna be the first movie to hit 300 million? Because I just like I'm in a bunch of movie things on Facebook, and they were asking, "What do you think the box office of Jurassic Park's gonna be?" I put $97 million, and a bunch of other people were like 120. I think was the highest anybody went. $207 million.
And that movie is stupid.
Max didn't like the movie, but we will at some point, hopefully this week, get a review up for it because I think
somebody else to watch the stupid motherfucker.
Philip, you hear this box office news. What does it do for you?
That blows me away. I mean, I just didn't think there was that much of a following for Jurassic Park. And that's why that's just more mind-blowing is what does that mean for Star Wars? I mean, I think that's probably the perfect weekend, too, as well, for Star Wars. I think that's when winter break starts for most kids. And so that's a perfect way for that kid to go, if they see it and they love it, watch it 3 or 4 times that weekend or the next week. I mean, it's mind-blowing because, one, just seeing the trailers of Jurassic Park, I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be great either. So I figured, I don't know how many people are going to go watch it. Maybe 100 million is what I was thinking, but wow. Just blew everything out of the water, doubled everybody. I don't know what that means. I have no concept. I mean, it's like it's going to be interesting to see what happens the rest of the summer because I remember everyone was complaining the box office was awful this summer so far, so that should make them feel better.
Box office is awful, really. I think we've had 2 million.
Like they had Avengers 2 and what else?
Furious 7 hit $1 billion.
Furious 7.
Like
what other
domestically.
Yeah, but I mean, like even still, like people are acting like these numbers are small. They're like, you know, Avengers didn't make $8 billion. Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, it still made like 6.5. You know what I mean? Like,
well, but you also got to remember you had 2 or 3 movies back to back last year that did well, even though regardless of quite a few of them sucked. They did really well. And this year you've got gaps. Like you had Avengers, but then you didn't have anything after it until now.
Fury Road, like right after that.
Yeah, but it didn't do numbers.
They didn't do numbers. It's slowly doing numbers.
Oh yeah, it'll get sequels, but I mean like from a box office domestic numbers, it didn't do. No one did. It was Avengers, and then it was Jurassic Park, and then before that it was Furious 7. Yeah. That's why. Because last year you had like 3 back to back. I can't remember. I know it was X-Men, and you had. Regardless of whether you like it, Max, it made money. And then Amazing Spider-Man, right? Yeah, the sequel. That was last year.
You like the Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah, it was still terrible, but I like it.
So at least he gives the same reaction for both. Then.
Yeah, no, I mean, it doesn't have to be good for me to like it. It just, you know. But I don't get it, man. Fury Road is so much better. Like I had so much more fun watching Fury Road than I did watching Jurassic Park or Jurassic World rather. And I don't know, man. You know, because they're the same thing. You know, like people are getting got by the dinosaurs left and right, like gutted and whatnot. You know, it's like the same level of violence. I don't see how. Oh, Fury Road is way better. Instead of going to watch Jurassic World, just go watch Fury Road again.
But yeah, I feel like what Max just said is that everybody's like looking at these numbers like they're crazy. Like when Avengers 2 came out, it did like 10 million less than the Avengers 1, and people are like, it's fallen off. It's like, seriously? The Avengers is the #1 box office movie of all time until this week. And then right next to it is the Avengers 2 at #2. The only movie that's beat Avengers 2 at the box office was Avengers 1. It's like, calm down. But yeah, Jurassic Park World, man, wow. And there's still more to come. Like this summer, I think Inside Out's going to do really well this weekend. And with Jurassic World doing so well, I'm kind of really curious about Terminator.
Oh yeah, you heard about the James Cameron giving his little dealy bob on that. I'm still not gonna go watch in the theaters. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go. Cameron, in case you don't know, we haven't discussed on this. Cameron came out and said that this is the third movie of his trilogy. If he had made a third movie, which we all knew that Cameron was involved in the story of this, but he says this would have been the third film in his trilogy had he completed it, which makes me a little bit more excited for it. I don't know. I hope it's good. I want it to be good.
So
it's not gonna be good.
I just don't think you have the following though that Jurassic. So I mean, there's more of a diehard fan base for Terminator, but I don't think you have the general following that Jurassic Park. Just the first Jurassic Park. I mean, I knew almost everybody I've ever known has seen that movie. The Terminator movies, I've met people that have never seen them.
Yeah, but did you expect Jurassic World to really do this well with
No.
2 botched sequels? I mean, me and McGahee, Mike McGee from McGee TV, check it out. We're probably the only 2 people in the world that enjoyed Jurassic Park 3, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, and you're telling me that after that, a movie, like, you look at Jurassic Park 3's box office, and then you tell me that that movie is going to do more than $40 million its opening weekend, I'd tell you were nuts. And I watched the trailer for Jurassic World, and then you tell me it's going to do more than $100 million, I would say you're nuts. And 207.
Maybe dinosaurs are the new Transformers, Jason.
Oh God.
They can't do nothing but make money.
Yeah, I'm just gonna kill myself. That's.
I don't have a better answer for you because I don't disagree, but I just don't get the following there. That's the thing, and I just don't think there's that much of a following for Terminator. I think it will do fine. I don't think it'll like bomb, just because I think people will be curious and want to go watch it, regardless of whether or not it's good. I think they'll get enough people in there, and there's enough talk circulating about it, especially the fact that James Cameron's came out and said something. The fact that everyone's like, well, the twist is in the trailer. I think that's actually almost genius on their part because I think some of the people are just going to go, is that really just the twist?
It's actually what they've been doing. Like if you go through and watch the trailers for all of the Terminator movies, they give it away in the trailers. Like
really?
Yeah. If you go through and watch it again, like
that's funny.
They always give it away. So like people are like, I can't believe they gave it away. And it's like, they've been doing that. Where have you been?
Nice. Well, I do remember that from Salvation that they gave that away.
Yeah, no, I mean, like every time, dude. Every time.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so we'll see. Something to go watch a movie.
Just watch a trailer. You're good.
I mean, they don't have Jurassic Park status, so they got to do what they can.
If you're watching live, please send in any questions and comments.
Jurassic Park status. Whoever thought that would be a thing? Jurassic Park status. Star Wars, Avengers, or Marvel. I mean, we can run with that Disney.
Dinosaur money. You got that dinosaur money. You good to go.
Oh, kudos to Kevin Feige and Marvel for the photo they sent out today. That's good team play. I enjoyed it. If you don't know, Philip, they sent a picture of Chris Pratt riding a dinosaur saying we won, and then the Avengers watching.
Nice.
Meaning that they took the box office from them.
That's funny.
It was good taste. But moving on, the only other real news story that I have for everybody is Forrest Whitaker just joined the cast of Star Wars Rogue One, which I'm happy about because I think Forrest Whitaker is a good actor who sometimes takes questionable roles. I don't think this is going to be a questionable role, so I'm glad that he's going to be in a movie that should be pretty good. Max?
Yeah, you know, like Forrest Whitaker, even if he's in a bad movie, like he's always good in bad movies, and you know, you're good in good movies. So, yeah, I'm happy to see him again. You know, like I just want to see. I'm tired of hearing about this crap. Like, you know, the Rogue One movie. When's that supposed to come out? Like 2037?
No,
Like,
there's gonna be a Star Wars
2016.
every year.
well, still, but like, you know, okay, so they cast some people. Like, let's. I need like a moratorium on all the press that these movies get. Like, I'm sick of it. You know, like I feel like Agent Smith. Like I'm saturated by it. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. DC, somebody needs to like hire external guards just so that way we stop hearing about their.
Yeah, man. I drove up to Canada. I was on the set the other day. It's ridiculous. They just let you walk on there and take pictures. It's actually a guided tour of the Suicide Squad movie.
That wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah, but yeah, no, Forrest Whitaker's good. I like him.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's a great character actor. He can pull out some amazing roles, and we'll see. I mean, I think it's a good choice, but who knows what role there will be? Whether it'll be big or small, we don't know, because they all take almost anything, honestly. I used to think that his name, for a while there, his name meant something, and then eventually just like, yeah, why not?
Hey, man, he's trying to get on Samuel L's level.
He doesn't got quite that cult status, man.
No, but he's trying.
You can get a Snake movie made after you just about your cliches. That's when you know you've reached true cult status.
Yeah.
I got just one more news story. They've officially announced a new Halloween movie is coming out next month. It is going to be a sequel to. Is it going to be the original series? The
It's a sequel, not a reboot.
It is a sequel to Halloween 1 and 2 from the original 78 and 81. They're going to completely pretend nothing else happened.
Alrighty then.
I like the Halloween movies, good or bad. I like the traditional slasher horror flicks. So they're doing what Texas Chainsaw did a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
Which is completely wiped everything out and made a sequel to the original movie.
Boo.
We don't have our horror guy Dan here, but
I mean, new horror movies.
I'm sure Dan would be more excited for this than a sequel to the Rob Zombie ones. He's not a fan.
Well,
I would have taken. I would have taken either. I like
Dan
the Zombie
loves all of the remakes.
He did like Poltergeist. Which
I know he likes a few of them, but mostly he hates them.
Yeah.
Philip, you like the Halloween movies, same as me. What do you think?
Okay, I guess. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought it was a reboot. I was like, oh my god, again.
We need another origin story for Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Combine it with Spider-Man. There you go.
Now
that would be kind of cool. Spider-Man versus Michael Myers.
Or Michael Myers is Spider-Man.
That would be such oh my god, that would be such an awful movie.
Climbing up and down the walls, cutting you in half with a machete.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh, I don't really see him having that hero part of him.
Scoop you up in your you're sleeping back there and beat you across the tree.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a different one. That was Jason, wasn't it?
It was Jason.
Yeah, that was Jason. But I mean, yeah, there is a difference, but it's not that dramatic between those two. At least, so what I appreciate about the Rob Zombies, even though they weren't necessarily great for a lot of traditionalists, is they kind of gave me that backstory. So this one, I just don't know. I mean, for the Michael Myers series, the first one was good for both iterations of the Rob Zombie or the original John Carpenter. But the sequels were okay. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go with this. I imagine they're going to try and go maybe more gritty than what they did in the old ones and try and like make it more hidden. I mean, I don't really get it. We'll see. I mean, I'm not excited, but I'm not depressed either. It's bound to happen. I mean, they've done Friday the 13th. I'm just waiting for the next Nightmare on Elm Street. So we'll have to see.
All right. Mike Myers stabbing people, not dying. I like it. Driving a Lincoln.
That would be awesome if Michael Myers was driving a Lincoln.
Or if he drives a Lincoln over somebody.
While stabbing people?
Yeah, he could be stabbing somebody and driving a Lincoln.
More More from Matthew McConaughey later. Philip, what do you got in the world of video games? There is a small conference going on, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It's some entertainment expo. I don't know. I just heard about it this year.
Was it like the first one?
Apparently. No. So this is E3 2015. And usually basically what it is, it's a conference that's aimed at, used to be aimed at, all right, Matthew. It used to be a conference that was aimed at investors mostly. Now it's starting to morph into what is Gamescom for Europe, which is basically a conference just for the consumers, just for gamers. So now the first day and a half is press conferences for press only. And then after that, which is at some point we have to get out there, Jason, is because even if we don't have pressers, the second, starting today, tomorrow, and Thursday, normal people can actually get in. You don't have to actually be press. It's just the first 2 days that they're doing press. They're starting to change that up just because I think people get excited.
And make
But anyways,
a lot of money.
I'm sure that's true too. Yeah, I'm sure they charge admission. It's not free. And honestly, I think people would pay a lot for some of the games that they're going to have on the floor, and it'll be the first time you can play them. Some games aren't even coming out for a whole year, and you can actually still play it. So it's pretty cool. So I've kind of got about 15 topics. That's not everything that was covered in E3, but at least it'll give us the stuff that I think will be most people are excited about. I have some photos, some from the conference, some not from the conference. And then a couple things that I figure people want to talk about. But first things first, we kind of got to go with this one. It is Star Wars Battlefront. I mean, oh my God, that is. I guess eventually, maybe if we're going to talk about it, that is one of my most anticipated games. The only game that's even close to it is Rock Band 4, and that's just because I play that game a lot. But that game, like, I mean, if you look at this photo, that is what the in-game graphics look like. It looks so much like a movie when I was watching them play it. They did basically a video shot of it at the EA conference, and I was just watching them, and I'm like, is this a movie? I'm like, no, the guy is moving independently. What the hell? How'd they manage this? And I'm so stoked. And they're going to have Darth Vader, and you can play as Darth Vader, and they're going to have Luke Skywalker, and you can play as him, and you two can fight each other with force powers and everything. So that's going to be, oh my God, so awesome. Jason, are you excited for this game? Is that
Philip just had an orgasm behind camera. I heard it. Yes,
I heard his orgasm.
I am excited for this
weird.
game because parts of this game are canon, and the game is released before the movie, right?
Yes.
So it might have a few things here and there, hidden things.
So they're going to actually have. So the game is going to be based on the original trilogy, and then the closer they get to the release of the movie, they're going to start to release more maps that tie into the movie. And so they're actually going to release the planet that ties in, I think, the week or two before the movie comes out.
See, I might have to buy this over my Halo 5 with Nathan Fillion, and we all know from last week's cast how important that is to me.
Right. Yeah, right. There's no way that you leave Nathan Fillion on the show.
Nice.
Max, your thoughts on this? I know that you're...
Star Wars! Yay! I'm down. It looks super sweet. Wait, that's a first-person shooter, though, isn't it? Kind of.
Third person. Well, first or third. You can do both.
Oh, okay. Oh, good. Then I can play it. Awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I was sad because it's Star Wars and it looks super sweet, but I don't do first person, so
yeah. So Battlefront traditionally, I didn't know this, has always been third person, and then they added first person, I guess, into Battlefront 2 because I never really played the original ones. And then now this one, they're going to keep that and have both. And of course, you can also fly TIE fighters and X-wings.
Huh. So it's going to be like that, no, never mind.
It's like Battlefront or Battlefield. Battlefield.
Yeah.
And if you're thinking Battlefield, except you're going to have third person angles. Right. And the next one, oh my God. So this was hard for me to figure out which one I got more excited about, was the fact that Star Wars Battlefront, the actual gameplay looks as good as what I thought, or the fact that Trey Stone and Matt Parker came out and basically said, oh yeah, we said we're never going to make a game again. We're going to make a game again. And
Fractured Butthole.
Exactly. It's just an awesome title. Oh my God. I mean, it just, whew, so exciting.
Yeah, because you can read that so many different ways, like fractured, but it is whole again, or The Fractured Butthole, which is funny too. Oh my god, I can't wait. The first South Park game, I could watch somebody play that for days. On top of being able to, have fun playing it myself. Like you don't have to be the player to enjoy the game. And it was. Did you ever play that?
Is that the one where like get chickens or something?
Stick of Truth.
Stick of Truth. It's where Cartman, you're playing an RPG.
No, I didn't play that.
And you can be Class Jew. And you get like a little Jew hat. And you got your sling of David.
Yarmulke, sir.
Oh my god. Yarmulke. Sorry. Don't mean to be any offense. But oh my god, that game.
Jew hat. It wasn't me with the racism this time.
But that game, that first one was fantastic, and I highly recommend if you haven't played the Stick of Truth. I'm pretty sure it's $19.99 now at all your retail shops, or you can go to GoGameIsland.com or VGMX.com to pick it up. But it is a lot of fun, and whether you like RPGs or not, and you don't like that style of gameplay, the story and the humor and the script is enough that you'll want to keep coming back for more. It was really well done, and it's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, I've been telling Jason I've beaten the game twice, and it's like I'm tempted to buy it again just so I can play it some more, just because it's so funny. The gameplay isn't the greatest in the RPG, and that's why I think it's easy for people to pick up. But that's what's exciting about this one is they're going to change it a little bit. So they're not going to do the Lord of the Rings, which is essentially what Stick of the Truth was making fun of. This one, they're going to actually be making fun of Marvel because they're going to do the Coon and Friends, if you remember that storyline from the show. And so it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's just the oh my god, just how horrible a person Cartman is as Coon is going to be awesome.
Oh man,
going through Cartman's mom's drawers is one of the best parts of that game.
I don't even want to know. I don't know if my mind's ready for that.
No, dude, you'll have to play it sometime over at my house. What else we got, Philip?
All right, and then this was just enough to whet the appetite. This one, I think, did Max here ever play Mass Effect?
Yeah, Mass Effect 2 is one of the 7 video games that I played.
So Mass Effect 4, also known now as Mass Effect Andromeda, has been confirmed. The rumor is next year for release, as well as Stick of Truth, the sequel. The Fractured Butthole is also 2016. But they showed off enough game footage, and you like the title, Jason? And they showed off some footage, and it looks awesome. I mean, it's exactly what I want from a Mass Effect game so far. It's going to be multiple worlds. It's going to be exploring. It's going to be kind of like the first one with they haven't really showed the shooting yet, but we'll have to see. And it looks really cool. It's enough to whet the appetite. It's not enough to actually get you, holy crap, I'm, there.
Holy crap, piece of crapple.
Exactly. The next one was at the Sony conference.
Max wants to talk about Mass Effect.
We're just gonna blow right past, dude. Like,
oh, you want to talk about it? Go ahead, Max.
I only want to talk about it. I watched that freaking trailer. I wanted to pull my hair out. It was awesome. I mean, like, I'm sitting here trying to avoid buying an Xbox One just because of the massive, soul-crushing expense. But like with Batman and the Mass Effect game out, there's no way I could just not have one.
Well, I was going to say, I just saw Amazon news that their Batman PS4 came back in stock conveniently, right?
Yeah, no,
right at the right time.
Do it. I'm an Xbox man. Like, even though they did the one thing they could have done to get me, isn't going to work. Sorry, PlayStation. I'm an Xbox man.
Oh, yeah. Well, so, I was going to say that I don't think Andromeda has not been confirmed as an exclusive, so it may actually be on both systems. That's actually starting to go away, surprisingly. With watching these conferences, the exclusives are getting rarer and rarer. Usually what's happening now is, well, you got it for a year. Or, the most ridiculous exclusive I heard was Disney Infinity, the 3.0. PlayStation gets the play sets 1 month ahead of Xbox.
But they're the same. Aren't they backwards compatible, the play sets?
I don't know. I've never actually looked into that. Is that true?
Maybe Sony's just trying to confuse stupid people.
Yeah, I was like, I've never played with it, so I don't know.
Exclusive for us. How does
for a
that
month.
Work? Because they don't
for a whole month, man.
On it.
For a whole month, so that means nothing to me. I was like, really? how much money did you pay Disney to get this for a whole month? I was like, there's no way Disney's giving you that much longer, because they're like, no, we got to make money. Go away.
$350,000 takes you a month.
Oh, man.
Probably more than that. But real quick housekeeping, if you're watching us live now, please just take 1 second and hit the like button below, and also send in any questions, comments.
Yeah.
Well, that's assuming that they're liking what they're seeing, though.
Oh, yeah. If you hate it, then comment below and tell us why. And then we can comment about that, too. Or just send in questions cussing us out if that's what you want to do. But join in the conversation, whether good or bad. Thank you.
Exactly. And if there's anything about E3, I've actually seen almost all the conferences, so I can actually answer some questions. Surprisingly. And okay, so the next one is, I'm not a PlayStation guy, but I know a lot of people were excited when this got talked about. Finally, this back in 2009, The Last Guardian, as it was called, was showed off at an E3, and it disappeared. They hadn't talked about it, said anything about it. Everyone's like, oh, this game must be canceled, because this is back, I think, if I remember correctly, what was that? Right after the PlayStation 3 launch. Shortly after it. It's a dog-like thing. It's not my cup of tea, but it looks like a platformer where you're the boy and you have a pet. The griffin almost is what it seems like, because it makes a lot of noise like that. And the E3 footage, you're basically crawling around trying to hop from one spot to the other, and the griffin is trying to save you because you're doing crazy things. And it's okay, I guess. It's not my cup of tea. So we'll just have to see about that. But at least I figured, for the PlayStation guys out there, the Sony, they'll be extremely happy to hear about this, because when I was watching all the reactions, everyone was excited about this. And I was like, oh, okay, looks interesting. And it doesn't look like, surprisingly, they didn't change a lot graphically, because I looked back at the old footage that they showed. It's very similar. So my guess is that means they're going to keep the game the same.
Dude, they didn't have anything. They're just like, slap some new paint on that piece of crap game we canceled 4 years ago.
Yeah, it's
throw it out there. People will love it.
It's definitely got a 2016 release date, so we'll see.
Oh, man.
Exactly, man. You gotta love it, right? And then Uncharted 4, no photo, folks. Sorry, but that was confirmed. They showed some footage, and it. Uncharted is the one game that's always tempted me from a Sony perspective, because the cinematics of it, like, I just watched the trailer and it blew me away. I was like, this looks amazing. It's
that's the one that's like Indiana Jones, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like Indiana Jones. It's the best thing that you have with video games that equals Indiana Jones at this point. Because even Tomb Raider didn't really have the cinematic style, though they're starting to get that with their later games.
Yeah, the new one did. The last one, I mean.
Yeah, and so it was just a simple car chase, but it was like, this is a game, like Jason, that you were saying, you could watch somebody play South Park. I can always watch somebody play Uncharted, just because it's just gripping, even though it's gameplay. You're actually on the edge of your seat, so it looks awesome. That's slated for, they haven't said a date, I don't believe. I think they're still just saying March 2016. I don't know if they have the exact date yet. The next thing, and this one's kind of a coup for PlayStation. I don't really care, because I'm not big into Call of Duty anymore. But PlayStation 4 now is the exclusive place first for all map packs. So you remember how Xbox had that for years and years, and my guess is Microsoft decided, yeah, we're not going to pay any more for that because it's not selling our console. And so I think they stopped, and then PlayStation's like, whoa, wait a minute, we'll pay. And
I've got $250,000.
Exactly. Yeah, we got a large install base. Maybe we can make it larger. We'll see. I mean, Jason, do you care? I don't think you really play multiplayer much anymore, do you?
I suck at multiplayer games. And every year, well, I last year was different. I got the games that actually looked good and fun, but I stopped playing Call of Duty, I think, with Modern Warfare 2. I got me and Philip.
Three, sir. Three. That was the one you tried to convince me to play.
Two was the one that we would stay up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning playing this fucking game, even though I was horrible at it, like really, really bad. And there was a few times I fell asleep while playing the game. It was, I was going through my divorce at the time, so I needed something to do. But then we got 3, and it just wasn't as fun. I mean, burn ourselves out on it, playing for 3 or 4 solid months until 4 or 5 in the morning. That's stupid. Waste of time. Stupid. We could have played something good, which we eventually did. Borderlands.
Yes.
But, yes, I am not. I don't care anymore. They got me a little bit with Kevin Spacey last year in that game, and they sold it to me, but it was just more of the same. So.
Yeah. I mean, I'll agree with you on that. Like, they sold me on that one, and this one, I really would love to hear. So, if there's anybody watching that loves Call of Duty, especially loves Black Ops, I really want to know what they've seen if it sells them on it, because I'm watching the trailer and I'm like, I've already seen this. Like, the last year's game, Advanced Warfare, did some of what they're doing, especially like the movement and everything, much better. And this just looks dated now because of all the changes they made in Advanced Warfare, and they didn't make it. And I think this might be where EA's 3 different studios making the games every other year is causing issues now, because I think they don't have a standard UI. Because I think Advanced Warfare tried to change things, and I think it did it well. And I was watching this, and I was like, there's nothing that intrigues me about this. Like, not even the single player or the Black Ops storyline. I was like, wow. I was like, at least the first one intrigued me. I never got a chance to get it because I wasn't around at the time. But this one, I was like, wow, there's nothing there. And so I'll have to see. What's that, Max?
This is going to be Black Ops 3.
Is it 3? Is there 2? Is it 3? I have no idea what the number is.
This is 3.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's Black Ops 3.
I didn't know if they were remastering, or giving it the old fucking paint job and throwing it back out there. I was like, wow, that's a lot of games you guys are just rehashing. But
come on, man, you gotta cash in.
Lazy assholes.
Yeah, pardon me, Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see it. I don't know. I was surprised. I'm not surprised that Microsoft bailed on the maps exclusivity, just because I don't think it was selling them consoles, and I don't think they want to waste the money when they could put that in a new IP. And then from PlayStation's perspective, hey, it looks good because how long had Xbox had it for years? We need to try and make sure, we're doing some fan service. So that kind of made sense. All right.
Yeah, I bet you in the next couple of years, they just start, like, no one gets it first. Like, they'll just release everything on the same day. It's just like, why spend the extra money? Like, no one really cares.
I agree. I actually think, like, a lot of while I was watching this, a lot of the talk was exactly what we're saying, which they see the crowd in general, the peak has hit its peak and it's starting to plateau for Call of Duty. And they said unless things change dramatically, they expect it'll decline. And eventually, once Sony's exclusivity deal runs out, they don't expect that there'll be any more exclusive stuff for the maps until Call of Duty can revamp in some way.
I mean, like, I don't see how, like, what else can you do? Like, the only thing that can happen is the graphics get it, pretty much. Like, there's no, because eventually at some point in time it stops being Call of Duty and starts being Halo, and then like, with the weaponry and stuff like that, and that's the only thing that you can change, right? And so, like, I don't see how they keep, or it's like how Madden comes out every year. It's like, well, maybe
that's the same thing.
Maybe we put Madden out every like 3 years. With downloadable content, I would, like, get excited for the new one to come out, but, like, and then sometimes you're like, well, last year's is better than this year, and how is that possible? Like,
yeah.
I think it's weird with these titles that they have that, there's guaranteed to be one, or even, like, so now there's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and Call of Duty Black Ops, and they're all different Call of Duties, and they all come out in the same year. It's like, how many shooters of the Call of Duty title do you need?
What's up, Infomaniac? Welcome back to the show, buddy. Philip wasn't here last week. We have a new regular. His name's Infomaniac. Cool guy.
Cool.
From the UK, right?
Yeah, UK. We're internationally known now.
We are fucking international.
That's awesome. But so I mean, I think what you're talking about, Max, is going to happen. I think it's going to depend on how well Destiny does, how well the Rock Band and Guitar Hero that are coming out this year, because all 3 of those games are platform games where they do DLC. Like, Destiny is, they announced I'm not going to talk really too much about it, but they announced DLC coming out this fall for Destiny, not Destiny 2. Destiny 2, I guess, is another 2 years away. And so what it seems like is they're going to build a game. They're going to use that as a platform for 2 or 3 years, and then they're going to make another game when they need to update the graphic fidelity. So I think what you're hoping for, Max, is going to happen. It's just a matter of the developers have to get used to that, or the publishers, not the developers. The publishers have to get used to that mindset of, what, we can't make a disc and make a ton of money? Damn! So we'll see what happens. The next game, I'm kind of stoked for this game. I'm just surprised that it took so long to come out. Just Cause 3. So I don't know if you ever played Just Cause 2, but it was one of the most crazy fun games that you could do the most ridiculous thing. You could tether to a plane and then just like fly around on it and be like a wrecking ball. You could tether a plane to the ground, and just when it tried to take off, it would crash down. So it would be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be awesome. It comes out December 8th, I believe. I can't find the date right now. Yeah, December 8th. And I'm absolutely excited for this game. I think it's going to be a fun sandbox game. The gameplay was always great. The story was but we'll see. Maybe they'll actually improve it. Apparently, it's going to be a large sandbox. You're going to actually have like a 400-mile island that you get to explore. And you're going to have parachutes. You're going to have your anchor. You're going to be able to actually like tether 4 or 5 things together. So, I mean, you're going to be able to just do ridiculous things and just destroy the world, which is what Just Cause was always about, the sequel. So it's an awesome game. I don't know if either of you ever played Just Cause 2?
I have not. Okay. Sorry.
No worries, man. It's a fun game for anyone out there.
Batman or Mass Effect or Star Wars in the title, does it?
No, sir, it does not. Or Batman. You're leaving out Batman.
Just Cause, Batman, Star Wars, Mass Effect. That game never came out?
That's actually this game. Congratulations, Max.
Oh, awesome. I'll play this one.
Nice. Let's see. And that's part of the... I'm on to the Square Enix press conference now. Then they announced the Final Fantasy VII Remake. For those of you that are excited for that, like, I didn't realize that was going to get as big of a reaction from the crowd. I guess everyone has been waiting for that because I know they've been doing it on mobile platforms for a while. But they didn't release much of it. They showed like a teaser, and it's basically a high-res version of, oh gosh, what's the guy's main character's name?
Cloud?
Cloud, yeah, Cloud from behind. That was it. You saw the giant sword and his hair. That's it. I suck at video games. You're funny. I never got the Japanese RPGs, man, other than like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross and Breath of Fire.
I never played a Final Fantasy game, and I know the main character for the freaking Final Fantasy VII, too.
Nice. I don't know if I believe that one, Max.
I seriously have never played a Final Fantasy game.
I totally believe that this game is going to be huge when it comes out. As somebody who works in the video game industry, this has been something people wanted for a while. I mean, people were paying $80, $90 for Final Fantasy VII. I mean, every Christmas it always shoots up to that. So, yeah, and the fact that they cleaned it up and it looks great. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Just what little bit they showed, it looks amazing. But this is Square Enix being Square Enix, so they did not attach a release date to it. So get ready to hear Final Fantasy VII Remake will be coming at some point in the future. Yeah, exactly. Well, so because the next thing was Kingdom Hearts 3. I know Jason's stoked for this title. It looks amazing. So, I mean, if what they did with Kingdom Hearts 3 and they can translate that to Final Fantasy 7, people will be extremely happy. Because they actually showed gameplay this time. Again, no release date because this is Square Enix we're talking about. It looks amazing.
I'm just going to let everybody know now this game is never coming. I think they've been Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2002. They're not making this game. They're just trying to get you excited, kind of like the masturbation machine in Chewbacca's grandfather's living room. It's just there.
It's in Chewbacca's living room. The grandfather lives with them. That thing's gross, man.
If you don't know what we're talking about, check out our review of the Star Wars Christmas episode. That was fun. But yeah, I would like for this game to come because now Disney has Star Wars. They have Marvel, and it'd be cool to go to some of these worlds. I like the first one. I've never played the second one.
Okay.
Don't know why, but I picked up the first one on the PS3. I've been playing that with the kids. So
okay. So the first, they're further along than you think, Jason, because they've actually talked about the first world is going to be based off of the movie Tangled.
Lies.
Yeah, they showed it. They showed it. It looks like it, but we'll have to see. Whether or not it's a full game is a different story. But it looks good. We'll have to see. I'm going to go to the Microsoft press conference. The biggest thing they announced wasn't a game so much as Xbox 360 games being compatible with Xbox One. Right now, there's only a list of 15. If you're in the Xbox One preview list, you can do those. Most of them are first-party exclusives. There's quite a few games I'm hoping for, like Red Dead Redemption would definitely be a game I really hope that they make compatible. And I think from everything they've said, it's it's basically an emulator that they're running straight software, and they said they can port anything they want. The software engineers have actually said that. It's just up to the licensing / the developer or publisher. And as long as everyone agrees, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to start to see, I absolutely think that we'll see a few, a few Rockstar games, because the other game I really want is LA Noire, because I actually want to go through that game again. So, I mean, definitely Rockstar titles I think are perfect for this, especially considering Rockstar's like, we're going to release it when we're ready to release a game. So I think it's a good way to, like, tide people over. As well as I really hope they do Portal 2, because I love that game. I love going back and playing that game. Are there any games you all are looking for? If I know, Max, you have to get an Xbox One, but if you do.
Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Origins, Mass Effect 2.
Oh, that's already working. Mass Effect is already working. 1, 2, and 3.
Mario Kart 64.
That needs to be an Xbox 360 title, sir.
Oh yeah, no, that's it. That's just like my list of games right there.
Infomaniac writes, I've been out of touch with video games for a long time now. The last game I played was Red Dead Redemption. Well, the good news is if you buy an Xbox One, you can play it again, hopefully. But
they're going to be taking... So just for people that actually really want to play, or really are going to get an Xbox One, they're actually going to start doing surveys, and they're going to try and get the crowd's point of view. So that's why I think Rockstar games will happen. I think Valve games will happen. Games that aren't being released regularly that there's a demand for. I really think they're gonna talk with the developer and the publisher, and they'll get it done.
I know we have our Warner Brothers reps that listen to us, and I know we also have Microsoft reps that listen to us. So all you Microsoft reps out there, if you want to beat Sony, make the system backwards compatible. Yeah. Do it soon.
Like all the way to the original Xbox.
Like seriously, you will do more console numbers.
Or, release X-Men Legends on the Xbox One as a downloadable playable game. And then I'll be happy.
Yes, do that. Make it so we can play it online. So then Max will buy one and we can play and Philip can play. It'll be great.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And then Dan or Mike, whichever one of them wants to join first.
Good news for anyone that does have an Xbox One with Gold. EA Access. So what this is the EA program that you pay. I think it's like $6 a month, or you pay $45 for the year, and it gets you access into their vault. Which right now it's mostly sports games. They do have Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare in there. They have what else? Oh, Peggle 2. Need for Speed. As you can see, I'm struggling, so it's not very good because they actually sent me a survey because I actually joined, since I'm kind of the video game guy, so I figured I needed to at least try it out. And that was my biggest complaint was I was like, I like the idea that the sports games are in here, and I really love the fact that I get to try games right when they come out. They usually have like the week before you get a free trial. So that's really cool. And they're starting to make that much better because what they were doing was the 7 days before the game out, you could try it. Then after that, you couldn't try it anymore. But now they've actually extended that. So Titanfall came out this week. So if you do have an Xbox One and you have Gold, go ahead and at least do that. You can play Titanfall for free with all the DLC. So that's really cool. As well as they're going to be adding in Max's favorite game, Dragon Age Inquisition, will actually be in the vault. That'll actually be there. And I did play that, Max, and I wasn't a fan.
Well, you don't like fantasy.
Yes.
But it got you excited for Mass Effect, though, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It made me miss Mass Effect, really. It got me more depressed. But now I'm excited again. So, and then, so for sure, definitely check that out. It's free. Why not? I have no idea if they're going to make you sign up for it. Just make sure if they do make you sign up for it that you cancel it, but when the week's over, because otherwise you will be paying a little bit of money. And then the next one was Halo 5. That was awesome. It looks really good. And I mean, I guess for me, I'm kind of curious to see what they're going to do because I loved Halo 1, 2, and 3. 4 was okay. ODST was okay. I mean, everything else after that was okay. I'm really excited. I'm really hoping they go back to that, but I think they're going to change some things. I really need to play it. I didn't get a chance to play the beta, and I'll have to actually see what it's like. But it looks great, and it looks like they're going to have large maps again. They're going back to what I remember from the Halo 3 days of gigantic arena with vehicles, with all kinds of things that you can do, with ground play, but they're also going to modernize it a little bit with you're going to be able to jump a little bit higher. You're going to be able to rocket jetpacks. You're going to be able to sprint a little bit longer. But again, they haven't covered too much of it yet on the conference, but it looks great. So if you're excited for that, get ready. And then the next thing that they discussed was Gears 4, which is the new title. I'm traditionally not a huge Gears fan. I love the first one. Didn't really get into the other ones. But this one looks awesome. I love the environment. It looks like a action kind of horror game. And it looks like it's going to be viscerally bloody and violent and gritty like the original was. You know, as you're chainsawing through something, your screen gets covered in blood. Or alien guts, I guess, since it's not really blood.
I mean, it can still be blood. It's just not human blood.
Okay, there you go. Not human blood. But anyways, so that looks awesome, by the way. So that's the Microsoft conference. Those are probably their biggest things that they really talked about. They had a few other things from the other conferences. Tomb Raider, of course. The exclusivity of question. It'll be exclusive, but the question is for how long. They still have tiptoed around that. But again, if you want to play the Tomb Raider when it comes out, you have to play this year. Oh, the game I am not talking about because I didn't put it in here for some reason is Fallout 4.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, well, I kind of had to shorten it, and I was like leaving things off because I was trying to touch the biggest thing, and I realized that's kind of big.
Okay, phrasing.
Yeah, exactly. So Fallout 4, if you buy it for the Xbox One, comes with Fallout 3. That was a thing they announced. And then they're going to support mods, which I don't know exactly what that means. Supposedly that's not going to be a Microsoft exclusive. That'll be both systems, but we'll have to see. Let's see. And then, you know what? I'm going to actually start touching the Nintendo Direct because they weren't at E3, but they decided to do it at the same time. So are you a Star Fox fan, Max? Or Jason?
Absolutely.
No.
No? All right. So if Max is a fan, you should be excited, sir. Star Fox Zero is coming out for the Wii U this holiday.
Yeah, now I gotta get a Wii U. Is that what you're saying?
You play Mario 64 on it.
No.
There you go.
You can only play Mario Kart 64 on an N64. There's no like, oh well, it's the same thing, the same tracks. No, it's not the same.
So
this dude is a beast too. It sucks. It's hard to play. I won't play him again.
That's funny. But so it looks okay. I mean, I will say this: they're kind of doing something different. They're almost taking you back to the 64 days, and they've tried to take some of that design, the polygonal design they had for the ships and things, and try and make that modern. It looks okay, but I have to see how it'll play. It looks interesting. If you're a Star Fox fan, I think you're going to love the game regardless. I think if you're somewhere on the fence or you've never really played a Star Fox game, I think it's going to have to sell you on it. I definitely think it's Wii U's biggest title that they have coming out, besides maybe Yoshi's Woolly World, but I don't think that's going to sell consoles. I definitely think that'll be an attach rate, but I don't think it's going to sell consoles. And so we'll have to see. I think it looks interesting. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be enjoyable to those that want it. And then the next game that we've got from Nintendo, that's not as good a picture as I wanted. This is kind of quirky and kind of weird. I really need Dan here because I'm pretty sure Dan knows about this game.
What is that?
Exactly, Max. That is called.
What is that thing?
They're all yokai. Except for the humans, they're called yokai. and this is going to be Yokai Watch. Think of it kind of like a Pokemon, but in a different way, where they just show up in random places. They seemed almost kind of like a spirit kind of animal mixture. It seems the gameplay itself, when I watch it, it's a 3DS title, looks interesting, and it looks intriguing, and it looks like something I want to try. But it seems weird. Like, I think it's just something you just have to play. From what everyone said, I guess this came out in Japan like 6 or 7 months ago, and it was hugely popular. The only downside to this was it was a very simple game, I guess. But it was a really interesting storyline. It was interesting kind of in the way you captured them and kind of the thing. And it's like a party battle system similar to Pokemon, but I don't think it's just one at a time. I think it's like 2 or 3 at a time. So it looks interesting, looks fun. I just figured I had to throw something different in there because this is Nintendo, man. Nintendo does it differently. So I definitely think it's cool. I mean, overall, I think the best E3 is probably a tie. A lot of people want to give it to Sony. I don't really think that's the case. I think Sony has some interesting exclusives, and I think they match. But I think Microsoft has proven that they're trying to get back to the consumer. So I really think that's why I would give them a tie. EA had a shitty-ass conference outside of Mass Effect and Star Wars. Literally every 10 or 15 minutes in their conference, they were announcing, promise, please stay here, Battlefront is coming. Battlefront is coming. Because no one wanted to, like, why are we here watching this? And then Ubisoft was interesting, but I actually, I think I left most of their stuff off. That's just how everything that they announced was already expected, except for South Park. The Division they talked about. Just Dance Unlimited for you, Max. You can get the platform now.
Yeah, I can't get enough of that.
Ghost Recon Wildlands. The Division, not until next year. Ghost Recon, not until next year. For Honor, which is an interesting game. It's a third-person melee combat game. Let's see. And that's pretty much it. I don't really think I really want to touch anything else. Not to mention anything else. But so any thoughts, any questions? Were there anything you all were looking for that I can fill you in on?
Mario Maker. We didn't talk about that. I'm going to talk about that for a minute. As somebody who's a Mario fan, for years I was bitching that they would just stop making 3D Marios because I wanted a side scroller. I finally got my side scrollers. Now I can make my own side scroller Mario game. I am in. Nintendo has Star Fox, they have Zelda, they have Donkey Kong, they have Mario. That is all they need, and they know it. So, like, Nintendo doesn't need to sell millions of copies of millions of different games. They just got to release these games strategically, and I think they do. And I think they do a really good job of, when they do release a game, they knock it out of the park. Like, I've been playing the Mario Kart for the Wii U. It's probably the best one since the 64 one. And the Super Mario Brothers Wii U is a lot of fun. So, yeah, definitely. I love Nintendo. I mean, they don't make enough, so it's really hard to stand by them sometimes. But when they do, and they give you the classics, which they're finally starting to do, because they didn't do that with the GameCube. They just give you remixed versions of games you didn't want, in my opinion, even though Luigi's Mansion is a classic. But, yeah, and then Microsoft won it for me with the announcement of backwards compatibility.
I see, like, with the backwards compatibility, I'm like, well, you assholes should have been doing this from the first place. Like,
well, Sony doesn't do that, though, either.
Well, I don't care. All of them are assholes. Like, it doesn't
matter.
matter.
Wii U is backwards compatible, sir.
Okay, so sorry. Nintendo, you're exempt from the asshole status. Everyone else is a bunch of assholes. Like, I mean, why does it matter? You think that people aren't going to buy the new games because they can play the old games? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like,
wow.
You're going to sit here and tell me. Well, but I'm not the gamer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I only like 4 things, and like, all you got to do is put one of those out every 3 years and you'll be fine. But, you know, most of these gamers are going to buy the new game just because it's the new effing game. Like, yeah, it's great, you know, to have your old games and you can be nostalgic. But if you play the game 10,000 times, you're probably going to want to get something else. You know, I don't think it's going to hurt your sales at all. And, you know, considering 2/3 of the major video game developers are not backwards compatible, it's got to help to be backwards compatible, right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree with you, Max, on all your thoughts. I don't think it would have hurt them except for this generation. This is the first generation ever where the first year for both consoles being out, their biggest games were re-releases. Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, was a massively popular game, but that was a game they released on the 360. And then you had Uncharted, not Uncharted, Last of Us, the remake of that, which was a massively popular game. I agree. I definitely think they need to get out of that habit of not doing it, but part of it is I will give them a break in some regard, because part of it is that it's not money. Part of it is the technology. They try to change it so much that it's hard for them to change. I think eventually, once we get past this generation, I think the iterations are not going to be dynamic, but dramatic enough that they're going to be like, oh, we can't do this anymore. It's going to be something that they built into the software that says, hey, don't read this disc. So I agree. I mean, but the reason why I say that's a big thing, and I think Jason, I would agree with you, Jason, honestly, up until I looked over all the games. I think this is a huge shot against Sony, because Sony has been trying to do PlayStation Now, which has been basically the streaming service where they go, hey, if you want to play your old games, pay us. And basically, with this going on, hey, you want to play your old games? We'll make it happen. Just tell us what you want to play. That's such a huge change from when Microsoft came out last year and they were like, or not last year, 2 years ago now almost. And DRM, we're going to do all this. Yeah, you can't do any of this. And Sony's all, we're your friends. Come give us a hug. So that's, I think, the big difference. And I think from that perspective, we'll see. But
go over to your friend's house and play the game. I hope your friend bought the game.
yeah, that's very true. I remember that. Well, what's interesting about this backwards compatibility, and this is interesting, is all you have to do is put the disc in, and then it downloads a copy. They never said you have to leave the disc in. So I think this is going to be a whole interesting thing, yeah. And then all your digital titles move with you. As long as the publisher said yes, they're going to just show up in your queue free to download. That part's exciting to me. I'm hoping, cool. Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that a lot of my digital titles just move, because how much did we got, Jason, that we played together and we invested?
Dude, I have so many. I went through the other day to try to find something for Tony to play, and to get back to 2010 on the game menu took me for freaking ever. Because some of those games don't exist anymore. Like the Double Dragon that I bought in 2008 is not there anymore.
Yeah,
I can't even download the game again.
It's gone.
Yeah. So, do you all want to talk about what your most excited game for 2015 is? I mean, I've kind of already addressed mine.
The Mega Man Collection and the Mario Maker for me, personally.
Mario Maker, interesting.
This one. This game.
Man-Bat? What's Man-Bat?
Yeah. Batman. Freaking Arkham Knight comes out. I'm down. That's going to be my whole life for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 months.
I am looking forward to the return of Man Bear Pig in the South Park game, the Fractured Butthole.
Yeah, Fractured Butthole. When is that coming out, though?
2016.
Okay, that's 16, yeah.
But it was on E3 this year, so I'm going to put it on mention it.
Yeah, Fractured Butthole should be good. I haven't played any South Park games, but I want to play that one.
I got to get Max to try the other one.
Stick of Truth.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you definitely you got to make Max play through that one. That one's that's so awesome. You're gonna actually, that was the first game I ever played where I actually I was laughing so hard I couldn't play anymore. There was a couple moments in that game that are just great. Yeah, for me it's Star Wars Battlefront, followed closely by Rock Band 4. But there's just I'm gonna read the list of games that are just coming out this fall. They're just ridiculous, really. It's so Batman comes out in June. Then after that, you've got nothing until September, but in September you have Metal Gear Solid 5, Mad Max, Mighty Number 9, which is the game from the guy who made all the Mega Man games, Lego Dimensions, Super Mario Maker, and then October you have Rock Band 4, Guitar Hero Live, you have Rainbow Six Siege, you have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and then Halo 5. Then in November you've got Call of Duty Black Ops 3, Fallout 4, Star Wars Battlefront, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Need for Speed, Then in December, you have Just Cause 3 and Hitman.
So Need for Speed, is that they're just calling it Need for Speed? There's no like.
Yeah, so they're rebooting the series.
Huh.
So they're kind of going back to a game that came out. What was that, 95 or 96?
They're Fast and Furiousing themselves.
Basically, they're going to actually include full motion video. If you remember full motion video from video games from way back in the day, where you'd be playing a game and then the cutscene would show up and it's video like what we're recording right now.
Oh yeah, this should be good.
So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I was like, okay, I guess they're desperate to make some money, but it is EA, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I'm surprised. There's some of these games have to get delayed because that's just way too much competition. They're just going to destroy each other. Like,
well, I mean, it's getting to the holiday season though. That's like right around the time, you know. It could be just what they're trying to do.
Yeah, but so I mean, you can only get so many you can only get so many games, man. I mean, that's
you think that.
Just decide to go into massive debt.
The retail card, man. Mom will come in on the day before Christmas and buy each and every one of those titles for her 4-year-old son.
Jesus H. Christ. Oh my God. Can I be that 4-year-old son?
No, you can't. You can't, sir. You're a grown-ass man. You
can have a 4-year-old son and go out and buy the game.
There you go. Use your 4-year-old son as an excuse. That's definitely possible. You better go talk to the fiance.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit more of a conversation than we're gonna go adopt a 4-year-old real quick.
Thank you for tuning in to Geek News Live.
All right.
So anyway, wrap up our show. Thank you for tuning in. Please comment below whether you liked it or whether you didn't. Give us your thoughts. Hit the like button. It takes 2 seconds to hit the like button, but it really helps us out.
This is again assuming that you like us.
Yes. Again, even if you don't like us, still subscribe and then yell at us in the comments below.
Yeah, you can razz us.
And then subscribe to the channel. Please retweet it. Our year anniversary is coming up. We'll do some kind of cool giveaway. We're working on it. Comic-Con is a month from now, the San Diego one. We'll probably do 3 casts that week, 1 for each night that it's going on. So that way, because there's going to be a lot of diarrhea of the news. So we'll make sure we have probably a bunch of short reaction videos. So definitely that's coming. Yeah, for all of us here. Also, Mike's not here, but I'm going to plug him anyway. Check out Mike at youtube.com/Mike McGTV. Max and I have participated in some stuff on his channel. For me, Max, and Philip, have a great night. GoGameIsland.com.